Sup nerds, here's my updated Magnamon X DNA deck profile. Starting off with our Tama, we are playing 4 BT16 Digimon. All turns, while this Digimon has 2 or more colors, it gets 1000 DP. Best Tama to play in my opinion. You could make an argument for a draw Tama, however, your Magna X being just 13k base comes up quite often. Onto our rookies, we are playing 4 Promo Vmon. Your turn, once per turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon card with the free trade. If you have a Tamer, reduce the Evo cost by 1. That is really good. And then when attacking inheritable, if this Digimon has 2 or more colors, draw 1, not once per turn. Once you get this under a Pyodramon and a Magnamon stack, you can just draw like 4 cards in 1 turn, which is pretty ridiculous. And then we are playing 4 BT12 Vmon. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add a card with Imperiodramon in its name or the free trait, and 1 card with Davis Modemiya in its name. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck. Inheritable, end of your turn, this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play may DNA Digivolve into a Digimon card in the hand for the cost. And then we are playing 4 BT12 Wormmon, which it functionally does the same thing on play, except for it searches for a Tamer with Kenichi Joji in its name instead of Davis, and then at same end of turn, inheritable to DNA. And then we are playing 1 Promo Wormmon, does Evo on top of our blue Tamas. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 green or blue card with 2 or more colors, and 1 Tamer card with Kenichi Joji in its name among them. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck. And the inheritable is the same thing as the other 8, is end of turn DNA. And then we're playing 1 BT16 Wormmon. It does Evo for 1 on top of our blue Tamas, so keep that in mind. And then start of your main phase / on play, if it's your turn, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a level 4 Digimon card with the Insectoid or free trait in your trash with the Evo cost reduced by 1. So this lets us basically recycle the pieces in our trash if we've already gone through them in order to like go DNA back into a stack. Like let's say our XV got used and we haven't seen another one, we can like reuse the same one. And the inheritable is when attacking, once per turn, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Can come up, but that's not reason why we're playing it. If it didn't have an inheritable, we would still play this. That is it. We're playing 14 rookies. On to our 4s. We're playing 4 BT12 X Vmon. Does Evo for 2 on top of either one of our rookies, or either color of our rookies, I should say. Your turn, when this Digimon would DNA Digivolve into a green Digimon card, gain 1 memory. Really good effect, obviously. And then the inheritable is your turn, while this Digimon has Imperiodramon in its name or the free trait, it gains jamming. So this gives your level 5s jamming and your Magnamon X jamming as well, since it has free trait, which is really good. And then we are playing 4 BT8 Lydramons. Does Evo on top of our Vmons for 2, but does Evo for 3 on top of our Worms, so something to keep in mind. Does have Armor Purge, and then when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. This is good for outing random Floodgate rookies that your opponent might have against you, like memory blockers or the play by effect guys are the only ones that really impact you. And then we're playing 4 Togemogumon from BT16. This guy Evos on top of Wormmon for 2, but does even top of Vmon for 3. Does have Blocker and Armor Purge, and then all turns, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, trash the top source of one of their Digimon. Then one of the Digimon with no sources can't attack or block until the end of their turn. That can come up. The best matchup that this card impacted in the past was Full Power Purple Hybrid. Since that deck has kind of gone away for now, I would say the next best matchup that this impacts is probably the Mirror, any Magnamon X deck basically, because you can potentially trash their armor form. They don't get their invulnerability in 3k DP on their Magnamon X anymore. And that is it. We're just playing 12 champions. On to our 5s. We're playing 4 BT16 Pyodramons. So you can hard Evo this for 4 memory on top of any of our champions. However, obviously we want to DNA this guy. It DNAs on top of a blue and green level 4 for 0. When Digivolving, suspend all of your opponent's Digimon with as many or fewer sources as this Digimon. Then if DNA Digivolving, none of their Digimon can unsuspend until the end of their turn. That is a board effect, or a blanket effect I should say. So like if they promote something and it swings and has something that lets it unsuspend, it will not unsuspend. And then when attacking once per turn, suspend one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. If this effect didn't suspend, unsuspend this Digimon. So it gets a double swing if you've DNA'd into it, since obviously you've suspended everything. And it does have Partition, where it would play out a blue and green level 4 as its effect, and also its inheritable. And what that is anytime it would leave the battle area other than by one of your effects or battle, you can play out a blue and green level 4. You have to have both in the stack in order to do it, but generally you're going to have that happen. And then we're playing 3 Dino B from BT12. This guy also DNAs with a blue and green level 4 for 0, or you can hard Evo him for 4. And then the inheritable is pretty solid with your Magna X. Your turn, once per turn, when one of your Digimon Digimon with Imperial in its name, or the free trait deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, trash the top card of their security stack. You can swing over your opponent's Digimon with a Magna X with this underneath it, kill it, and then it'll trash their security, and then he'll gain his immunity and unsuspend. And that is it. We're just playing 7 level 5s. Onto our megas. We are playing 4 Magnamon X Antibody from BT16. This guy does Evo for 4 on top of all of our level 5s. He does have Blocker and Armor Purge, and then when Digivolving, if Magnamon X Antibody or an Armor 4 trade card is in this Digimon sources, until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon gets 3000 DP and isn't affected by your opponent's effects, then unsuspend it. And then all turns once per turn, when a card is removed from a security stack, you may activate one of the Digimon's when Digivolving effects. And it does have the rule has free attribute. This guy's obviously nutty. The ability to combine the aggression that like these cards give you with then like an immovable wall after the fact is really awesome. That's why I love this variant more than the Magnamon Armor variant. This guy can solo certain archetypes just by himself because they're underpowered and can't get over this guy. Really awesome boss monster. And then we are also playing 4 Medieval Gallantmons from BX8. He does Evo for 3 on top of all of our level 5s, which is really cool because when you Evo into him, you can potentially trigger his when Digivolving effect twice. So when this card would be played by suspending 2 Digimon, reduce the play cost by 4. Then he has Alliance and Vortex. And then when Digivolving, you may suspend 1 Digimon. Then you may delete one of your opponent's 8000 DP or lower Digimon. For each other suspended Digimon, add 3000 to this DP deletions effects maximum. So because of how it's worded, he does not include himself. So that's something to keep in mind. He doesn't include himself being suspended. It's everybody else on the field. And then all turns once per turn, when Digimon are played, you may activate one of this Digimon's when Digivolving effects. So he's a Floodgate. He's a board wipe. He's just an all-around just ridiculous card. And this deck doesn't have any like mid-range removal. It's basically just like suspend and stun and source strip. And this is a much needed card for this archetype. And it's super awesome that we're playing 4 cards that can actually search this out of our deck. The promo Wormmon can search this guy because he's a 2 or more color green card, and also 3 of our Tamers can search this guy. And that is it. We're just playing 8 level 6s. On to our 7s. We are playing 2 Alphamon Oryukin Ace from BT20. So this guy can Evo on top of, he can hard Evo on top of either one of our megas for 6 memory, or he can DNA with either 2 Magna X's or a Magna X and a Medieval Gallant. So that's something to keep in mind. And because we have end of turn DNA on like 9 of our rookies, you can potentially just have this on the field already, have swung out, and then drop this guy for how much ever memory it's going to end up costing you, and then blow something up, and then end of turn DNA into this guy to remove something else and trash your opponent's top security card and gain 3 extra memory and recover +1. So he DNAs for with a black level 6 and a yellow or red level 6 for 0. That's why he can do what he does. You cannot blast DNA into him. That requires exactly Alphamon and Oryumon in addition to the colors. So that's something to keep in mind. On player when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 15,000 DP into the end of their turn. Then if DNA Digivolving, trash your opponent's top security card and recover +1. So this guy is a hard out to the mirror, mirror being Magna X, because they're basically never going to have this guy be bigger than 15,000 DP at the start of their turn. So you just go into this guy and he's just going to die at the start of their turn, which is pretty dope. Also, he is a really good answer to Angels because they have no protection from DP based removal, which is this deck's probably worst matchup prior to this update. I would say Medieval Gallantmon is also really good against Angels if you know what you're doing. But this guy's also just a hard answer to Dom or whatever you want to kill. And then all turns once per turn, when the security stacks are removed from, gain 3 memory. So when you DNA into him, he's going to be DNAing for -3 memory, assuming your opponent has a security stack to trash. But yeah, really good. You can game people with this, assuming you're not passing more than 3 memory when you DNA into him. Really broken card. Also, he's just basically just a 9-cost option, which is really sick. And that is it for our 7s. And then on to our Tamers. We're playing 3 Davis Motomiya from BT3. He is a memory setter, 4 cost. On play over the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 blue and 1 green Digimon card among them to the hand, put the rest in the bottom of your deck. So this guy adds everything in the deck besides your 2 Oryukin Aces. He adds Medieval, which is super dope. Really like that part. And then everything else besides the alphas, which you only really need to see 1 alpha, and you draw so many cards that you're probably going to draw it. And then our last 4 Tamers, we are playing 4 Davis and Kin from BT16. 4-cost Tamer. Starting your main phase, you may play 1 Vmon or Wormmon from your hand without paying the cost. At the next end of your opponent's turn, return it to the hand. And then your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolved into a blue or green Digimon by suspending this Tamer, gain gain 1 memory. Then if DNA Digivolving, trash any 3 sources under your opponent's Digimon. So targeted source removal, really nasty, in addition to memory gain, in addition to playing dudes for free. This card is super busted. You do have to hard play this. There's no current way to play this for free if you're not playing Return to the Primogenitor. But after hard playing this guy, if you get 1 activation of both of these effects, it's functionally paid for itself, because it costs 3 to play your rookie, and you gain a memory off of evoing. So ridiculous card. Surprised this skirted the ban list, but I'll take it. I like playing this deck, so I'll take it. That is it. We're just playing 7 Tamers. That is it for the list. This was the winner of a recent members only poll for what I play at my locals. So I'll be putting up gameplay videos this week. Once those go live, they'll be in the pinned comment below. And if you guys are interested in voting in future members only polls for what I play at my locals, consider becoming a member. The join button would be a subscribe button used to be if you're already subscribed. But if you guys have any questions, anything I didn't address, feel free to leave them down in the comments. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy seeing this kind of content. Want to come back for more. But until next time, see ya.